Alright, so I thought we could model some tombstones. I will use my image as a reference. So I'm going to do add, image, reference, and here it is. I'm just going to move that over here. And it'll just be what I use to start modeling. So first I'll model the one that has RIP in it. We'll just use this cube. So I'm going to hit tab and go into edit mode. I'll hit S to scale it. I'm going to make it thinner. So I'm going to press X and just squish it that way. I like that. That's great. So I will also do a loop cut. So Control R is my loop cut. And I'm going to make 3 like that and click in there. Now what I will do is I will press 2 to go to edges. I'll select this edge. Up here we have proportional editing, so I'm going to put that on. I'll use my move tool and I'm just going to scale this with the middle mouse scrolling just until I get something round that I like. I think that's close. Next, I want to grab the 2 edges over here and I want to do a bevel. So I'm going to do Control B and that will bevel. Something like that. And I think I'll do a bevel on the top too. So Control B. And I will just do something like this. Okay. So now we have something that looks like that. I'm going to grab 3 for faces. I'll grab these faces. I think I'll press I to do an inset, so I could do something like that. And I'm just going to press 1 to go to vertices. I'm just going to fix this one. Let me turn proportional editing off so I could just click up here. And I will just move this up so it's straight like that. So now I have something like this. So what I'll do now, I'll press 3 and I'll grab this face, hold shift down so I could select these other faces. I'm just going to press E to extrude and I'll just push in a little bit like that. So now I have that like lip inside there. So now I'm going to press 3 again just to make sure I'm on faces. I'm just going to select these bottom faces here and I'm just going to hit E to extrude and bring that down. So now I want to make this kind of lip that's like right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Option down and I'm going to select the line right here. So I should select the faces like this all around. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold Option and press E. And this is going to give us our extrude menu. And I want to do extrude faces along normals. So now you can see that I could just pull out like that. And that's great. So next I'm going to grab all the faces down here. So I'm going to click and hold shift so I could add to my selection and just grab all of these faces. And I'm going to extrude a little. I'm going to hit E to extrude and just bring that down a little bit. I'm going to hit S to scale just so I could scale that out, and then just E to extrude again. So now you can see I have my tombstone pretty much. Next thing we can do is I'm going to press 2 and I'm just going to select this edge right here, and I'm going to press Shift and S. Shift and S. And this is going to open the cursor selection menu. So I just want to do the cursor to selected right over here. So I'll just click on that. And you should see that little like red and white target kind of pop in right there. So let me just hit tab, and what I could do now is I could add some text. So we have text right here. So you can see it doesn't really orient the way I want, so we just have to rotate it the right way. So you can see here's the red axis, so I'm going to hit R and I'm going to hit X, and I'm just going to rotate that by 90. And then here's the blue axis, which is Z, so I'm going to hit R and then Z, and then I'm going to rotate that by 90. So now it should be facing the right way. So I could get that in there. I'm going to hit tab, and that's going to let me backspace and right. So I'm just going to write RIP, and then I could just hit tab again. P. Just hit tab again, so now I have RIP. I could just position that in the right way. If we go to the letter right over here that says data, there should be an option if we scroll down that says geometry. So if we open that up, we can extrude our geometry right here. So I could just extrude that so it's sticking out, and then we could have our little sign say RIP. And here's our first tombstone. So let's try to make our second one again. I'm just gonna make a cube, and we can combine the so just if we want to combine these together, just click on our letters. If we right click, we're just going to convert this to a mesh like that, and then we could just click both of these and just do a command J, and now they'll just be one object, so we can move them around. And I'll just do that again. Let me undo a couple times. So we're going to select our letter, we're going to right click, and we're going to convert it to a mesh, and then we'll hold shift and select our tombstone, and we're going to do command J, and they should be combined. So let me just move that over here. Our next cube is right over here. So I'm just going to hit tab, and you can see the platform here is pretty small, so I'm just going to press 3 to go to faces. I'm just going to push this down to get it close. So I'll select this face, and this time I'm going to press I, and I'm just going to push that in. Then I'll hit E to extrude and just lift that up. Then I'll hit I again to just push that in a little bit. Then I'll just hit E to extrude up like that. It kind of tapers in a little bit, so I'll hit S to scale it, right? And then I can hit E to extrude, and I'll just bring it up a little bit so we could see it kind of pops back out. So what we'll do is I'm going to do Option, and I'm going to select this edge right here, so I should get the loop like that. And we're going to hold Option and press E, and this is going to give us our extrude menu, and we're going to do extrude faces along normals. So I could just pull that out a little bit like that. If we want to get these faces in here, we'll just grab all of these faces, and we're going to press I. And you see it's not going to work exactly the way we want because I have boundary on. So maybe you could see it right up here, boundary. So I'll do that again. I'll press let me grab these faces. So again, I'm going to press I, and I'm just going to press B. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me undo that. So I'm going to press I, and we want, oh, I missed one. Okay, got him. So I'm going to press I, and there's an individual, so it says individual off. So I'm going to press I again, and then I can get those squares on each of these faces like that. And again, we'll press Option E, and we're gonna do extrude faces along normals, and we're just gonna push that in a little bit to just get that inset just a little. So now we have something like that. Okay, so we're gonna grab this face up here, and we're gonna hit E to extrude back up. So we're gonna taper this, and we'll extrude again, and just make like a little square shape, and then we'll extrude again, and then we'll scale that back out so it tapers back up, and then we can extrude again, and then we'll just scale that in really small so we have like that diamond shape. If you want to make it pointy, we can press M, and we can merge at center, so now we have a point. Next, we're gonna grab this face and this face. And again, we're gonna do Option E to get our extrude. And we're gonna do extrude faces along normals. And then we could pull that out like that. I'll just hit S to scale that. Right, then we could do Option E again and extrude faces along normals. And then we can string, so this time we can just press M. We're just gonna select one face, we'll press M and do at center. And then we'll do the same thing, we'll press M and do at center. So now we can have our little cross. If you want, and now we just need to make this circle area. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna select this face right here, and I'm gonna select these two faces right here so that we're in the middle, and we're gonna do Shift S, and we're gonna do cursor to selected, and we're gonna go to add, and we're gonna add a torus. And we should have this add torus menu, and we're just gonna make this a lot less. Let's see, so maybe 6. And we could do like 12, something like that. And then what we're gonna do is, so we have our rotation here, so we see along the y-axis here, I could just type in 90, and we could have that over here. And then we also have the radius, so we could change how that looks until we get something that's right. So like that, I think. Maybe I want 4. All right, so we can do something like that and have our cross. Okay, so now we have that, and we can just move that over here. So our last one will be similar a little bit to our first one. So let's make another cube. So I'm just gonna do Shift S, and I'm just gonna do cursor to world origin. So that'll just put it back in the center. So I'm gonna add a new cube. Here's our cube. So I'm gonna hit tab. I'm gonna scale this one along the Y, so SY, and just stretch it out a little bit this way. Then I'm just gonna bring this down so it's like that, and maybe I'll do S and X and just, let me hit A, S. So press A to select everything, and we can do S, X, and just kind of shrink it down this way a little bit too. So I'm gonna grab this face, I'm gonna press I and just move that in a little bit. I'm gonna hit E to extrude, and I'll just scale that a little bit. Then I'm gonna hit E, then I'm going to hit I again and just kind of do something like that. So we can see there's like a little bevel here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to loop cut it like 4 times, I think. Yeah, like that. And then what we're going to do is, let's see. What I will do is I'm going to go to edges. I'm just going to grab these 2 edges, right? Then I'm going to use my scale tool, and I'm just going to pull them apart a little bit on the red. And then I'm just going to stretch them out on the Y and get something like that. I could then grab these 2 faces like this, and I could just stretch that out to something like this. And then we'll have something like that. And then we could just grab these faces here, right? And we can extrude with E and kind of get that going like this. And then when we have that, what I will do now is I'm going to press K, and I'll press so let me escape that. First, let's press 1, then we'll press K, and this is our knife tool. So it's easier if we could see our little vertices. So I'll click this one, and then I'll click that one, and I'll press return. And I'll do the same thing over here. I'll click this one, and then I'll click this one, and I'll hit return. And then we'll have some new faces. So then I will just grab these faces here, and then we could just extrude up again. And now we kind of have like that part sticking out. And we can do some loop cuts. So maybe I'll do 3 loop cuts like that. And then what we'll do here is we'll hold Option and select this loop. Let's turn proportional editing on, and we can just kind of scale that in a little bit, right? And then we can do 2 loop cuts up here, just like that. And then we can grab this face, and we'll just move this up a little bit like this with the proportional editing. Now you can see we have our face like that. And what we could do here is we could grab these faces here. And we can press I and I one more time so we get that kind of cross shape. Actually, let's not do that. Sometimes it's easier if we just model a new mesh. So I could select this face. I'll do Shift D to duplicate it. And I'm just going to press X and just pull it out a little bit like that. Then I can grab this edge over here. So I'll go to edges. I'm just going to extrude this edge up like that. I'll press Z to keep it straight. Then I will maybe I will loop cut. So Control R and loop cut right over here. And then I can just grab these 2 edges and do Option. And then I'll just hit E. I'm going to right click, and then I'm just going to scale these apart. Let me turn proportional editing off. And then I'll just scale these apart. And let's see, let's make this look a little better. So we could grab these edges here like that. And I'll just scale these in a little bit so we have a better cross. And I could just grab these faces like this, and we can hit E to extrude and just pull it back in. And now we have a cross on our tombstone. And we have, let me rotate this around, RC 180. Okay. So you can see we have our 3 tombstones. Alright, so that's how we can make some tombstones for our cemetery or for our Halloween design.